Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the APFC Heavyweight Division, sponsored by Third Coast T-shirts. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a cerebral tactician. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall and officially weighed in at 258.8 pounds. Coming in tonight with a record of 2 wins and no losses, and fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, Quincy Tempest Harris. And across the cage, his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a whoop-ass fighter. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and officially weighed in at 250.4 pounds. Coming in tonight with a record of 5 wins with no losses, and fighting out of Crofton, Maryland, Anthony Rossi. And your referee in charge is Sean Spath.
Sean Spath, third man inside for our first heavyweight bout of the night. A cerebral tactician in Quincy Harris and a whoop-ass fighter in Anthony Rossi. I'm excited for this one. Quincy Harris in the black trunks with the logos in red insignias. Anthony Rossi in the multicolor blue. 3 rounds at 265. Campbell, I don't know if we'll need him.
I don't think so at all, the way that these guys are already moving around. They're light on their feet.
No glove touch there by Quincy. He just wants to get right in the face of Rossi.
Harris with that early pressure. Rossi now trying to put some presence on Quincy. Good stinging jab from Rossi. Collision there from both guys.
Quincy definitely wanting to separate and keep space, as it looked like Rossi was going to embrace the grappling clinch there. Quincy seems to have a good pep in his step. I like the bounce. I'm liking the movement.
Almost that traditional martial arts style bounce.
And that allows Quincy Harris to be blitzing effectively inside and outside, but this is Rossi's world with the tie-up. Unsuccessful again, though, Campbell, on getting into the canvas.
Yeah, very good defense by Rossi. He looks like he's a well-versed fighter as well.
2 minutes remain in this first round. Rossi patiently walking forward. Harris just locked in right now. Beautiful right hand from Quincy Harris.
2 completely different striking styles as well.
Another right, Anthony Rossi eating shots from Harris.
Beautiful uppercuts there by Quincy Harris. Very intelligent punch selection, knowing you have a dominant wrestler.
Naked shots like that aren't something you really want to see, Campbell.
No, sir, that's a bad sign there.
Quincy Harris, beautiful connections. Anthony Rossi has got to mind his P's and Q's inside the pocket.
Right now, it looks like Rossi's just kind of waiting for Harris to throw, and that's a dangerous game.
Yeah, and telegraphing his punches a little bit. I mean, Harris seems to be pretty fast, so that's not someone you want to, see your strikes coming. I mean, Harris is throwing combinations. He's looking to put Rossi out. Rossi needs to get back to his wrestling, level changes, threaten the attack before he goes for the shots.
Under a minute to go, Rossi connecting with a leg kick. Quincy Harris stumbling backwards, but how successful he has been in this first round against a much more experienced foe, quite impressive.
Man, Harris's eyes are locked in too. He is in the zone right now.
Now this is right where Anthony Rossi wants this fight to take place, David.
Definitely. I mean, this could be a great way to slow his opponent down as well, too. I mean, the thing that's unique about Harris at his size is his speed, his movement. So what you need to do, you need to grip him. You need to get close to him. You need to lay your weight on him and just wear him down for a bit before you get to work.
Excellent defense displayed by Harris as we come to the final 10 seconds of round number 1. Nice.
Oops, sorry about
that. Sorry,
that.
Campbell.
The way Harris bounces around reminds me a lot of Surreal Gone.
Yeah.
Very light on his feet.
And again, as mentioned, Gone won last night.
There we go.
Quincy Harris, stylistic similarity, can replicate that. But, David, if you're Anthony Rossi in round number 2, what would be your focus?
My focus would be to get back to my wrestling, but intelligently. We saw him shoot a little bit in that first round. It was a naked shot, which isn't necessarily safe when you have someone like Harris who can throw punches, who can throw combinations. He needs to slowly inch forward, get to his level changes. Maybe, as we can see here in the replay, we have the clinch. Get back to the clinch and then work down to the leg attacks and just wear away at Harris, because Harris seems to have the speed advantage so far in this fight.
It almost seemed that Anthony Rossi maybe assumed it would be a bit easier to get to some advantageous positions.
Yeah, and he probably didn't expect this kind of speed from Harris either. You know, not many guys that big or that fast. But if you also look, Rossi's pretty busted up here on the left side of his face, pretty swollen up. So, you know, Harris landed something good.
Quincy Harris trying to topple a much more experienced foe. Second round underway. Again, no touch of gloves, even though Rossi was trying to extend it.
Harris is here to get business done.
He's not here to make friends, Cam.
No, sir.
He's not breathing heavy, most importantly. I mean, he did a lot of movement, a lot of motion in that last round, and he still seems fresh here going into the second.
Rossi with a little bit more pep in the step. That right hand blocked by Harris.
Rossi's starting to mirror Harris, too, and that's a bad sign.
Great point there, Dunn. I mean, maybe he's gotten to a point mentally where he's feel like he's done what he knows how to do. So now I'm going to just give him something to look at it. However, Harris will be leading the dance if that's the case, because Harris is better at Harris than Rossi is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, taking a page out of the guy's book when he's the one writing it, likely not the advised strategy. Rossi again trying to tie up Harris. Exiting beautifully. 2 minutes to go in round number 2. And Quincy Harris, talk about unexpected prospect of the night. Another left hand connects. And the pace is working to Harris's benefit, I feel, right, David?
Yeah, I mean, when we talked to him, he talked about being focused. You can sense the tenacity, but I wasn't really sure about the technical prowess. But he seems to have all of that. So, I mean, this is working very well for him going forward. And even better is when he's gotten into these grappling exchanges with Rossi, he's been able to hold his own. He's been able to work his way out of the clinches. He stopped his shot. Like, he's looking very good tonight.
Now, if you're Rossi in this position, Campbell, what do you need to do?
Same thing, you know, as we were talking about earlier, get his feet moving. He needs to drag him forward or start to, you know, bend his spine one way or another, trip out his feet as he's doing so. You can't just try to take down, especially a guy like Harris. He's like a statue right now. You got to get him moving.
1 minute to go in round number 2. Anthony Rossi, with his most success of the fight, keeping and maintaining this position and chipping away with those knees. They, David, aren't exactly the nicest strikes to feel.
I mean, they don't have to be pretty as long as it's effective. I mean, right now, from a judging perspective, he's winning the round. He's having cage control. He's controlling his opponent. He's landing strikes. That's how you win a fight.
Well, that's, I guess, how you lose a position, according to Sean Spath. 30 seconds to go in round 2, and Quincy Harris putting the pressure on.
Harris just wears his emotions on his sleeve, man. You look at that guy's face, man. Yeah. He looks like he's seen a ghost. He's so focused.
Ooh, nice shot there from Rossi. Final 10 seconds to go, and Rossi is asserting himself more and more into this fight.
Yes, sir. This is exactly the kind of fight he wants right here. Not that long-distance striking match, but this is what he wants, that dirty, grimy clinch fight.
Quincy Harris finds some separation, but Rossi evades those big looping power shots. Round 3 upon us, and I do think that it's fair to say we are 1 round apiece.
I
think it's a fair assessment for sure, Ben. I think Harris came out that first round. He was explosive. He was dynamic. He was in and out with his striking, defended the shots. However, in this round, Rossi did a better job controlling positionally, landed some strikes as well, too. But once he got into the clinch, he literally made the clinch his own, which is what he needed to do to get back into this fight. And most importantly, Harris just kind of accepted the clinch. And we know going into the 3rd round, he cannot do that. It's 1-1. Somebody has to create space here in this 3rd round.
And if you're looking at body language, Quincy Harris was taking a lot of deep breaths in between rounds, Campbell. It feels like the confidence is maybe starting to dissipate from him.
Yes, sir, and especially after those little grimy clinch battles that him and Rossi were into, he's not going to have the same kind of pop or pep in his step that he had the first 2 rounds. So he's probably a lot less dangerous this round, if I had to guess. Chance for Rossi to really take over here.
Quite like our main event, undefeated records on both sides here in this third and final round. Only one of them can be victorious. Rossi eating a shot there from Harris.
They trade leg kicks. Harris throws the short right on the exit, lands. He's on the outside where he wants to be, but look for Rossi to inch in to hopefully get to a clinch position and just slow Harris down.
Rossi eating a combo there, retreating to the cage. Harris following him around, Campbell.
Yeah, Harris is really coming on strong here at the beginning of this third round. A little low there, yep.
Yep, low blow from Rossi, unintentional, of course.
Hey, it's a good thing for us fans here. We're going to get a fresher couple fighters after the break.
And to your point, Dunn, whenever that happens to you, I've been in this position before, you get a low blow, you don't necessarily want to take the whole 5 minutes when you're ahead, because just like you get to recover, your opponent gets to recover.
Now
yeah, you're wearing a cup anyways.
Yeah.
So.
In terms of how that third round was starting, seemed like the pace was picking up. David, who had the edge so far in this third and final round?
So far it was Harris. I mean, he was marching forward. He's throwing his punches. We saw some combinations. Rossi was seeming to having to adjust to every step of Harris up to this point.
Harris and Rossi back on. 2 minutes and 15 to go. Nice leg kick from Harris.
Rossi has Harris reacting now, though, to some feints as well.
Seems like that jab is getting quicker and quicker for Rossi. Left hand doing some work.
Oh! Short uppercut there by Harris. Did a great job of pawing out the lead left hand and following up with the uppercut, excuse me.
You can see Quincy Harris wants to land that big blow, Campbell.
Yes, sir. He came out fresh, too, after that little break there.
But now this is right where Rossi dominated in round number 2. This clinch position. We'll see if Harris can find his way off the fence, David. If he wants to do so, what would be the best method?
Well, he has that right underhook, which he just gave away, and unfortunately, Rossi chooses to back up and go to the center of the cage here. I don't know if that was a smart choice there, Dunn. What do you think?
No, sir. I think that's a sign that Rossi's a lot more tired than we can see.
Yeah, there is a lot of labored movement from Anthony Rossi right now. Final minute and 10 seconds. Quincy Harris with another right hand on Rossi.
Harris just fell into that right hand there, throws some knees to follow it up.
If I'm Rossi, I'm probably holding on to this for the rest of the round and chipping away with those knees, Campbell.
Yes, sir. At least trying to, you know. And we know how hard wrestling is, how tiring it is on offense and defense, but this is Rossi's best chance right here.
50 seconds to go. Quincy Harris, Tempest, trying to light things up here in Richmond.
I'd really like to see Rossi start to lean down on him and trip here. You know, he had some opportunities for trips there, but he didn't see him.
Sean Spath not a fan of the clinch as we approach the final 30 seconds, which gives Quincy
him up fast.
Yeah.
I'm sure the crowd loves that.
Harris putting the pressure on. Rossi, nice body kick, but he is tired, David.
Definitely not even able to follow up on the takedown there. Anytime he's gotten an advantage or a chance to shoot, he's given up at this point, much like now just shooting naked from the outside.
Nice right hands from Quincy Harris. Rossi backing up in the final 10. Wow. What a performance from Quincy Harris in so many different ways. Striking looked great, avoiding all the grappling that Anthony Rossi is known for. Unsure who the winner might be. I'm assuming Harris, but either way, I'm deeply impressed by Quincy.
Yes, sir.
I'm impressed as well. I think if I'm a judge, I have to give the nod to Harris for all of the components that you just named. I mean, his striking, I think he really was the only one that had the devastating portions of the fight, you know, where he was able to land combinations and get Rossi on his back foot, running away from him at times. Here we have Rossi coming in, shooting in, trying to get to his takedown. Harris did a great job stuffing it, and then he's throwing punches on the exit. I think Harris just wins purely based off of activity and just the posture of this fight so far.
And Campbell, like you mentioned several times before, the new rules favor that damage and effective and significant striking. Quincy Harris had all that tonight.
100%, yes, sir. It's a really good performance there from Quincy. I'm impressed to see how well he moves. And most of the time, those guys, if they're that good at striking, they don't have as good of a wrestling game. But he has a real good wrestling game as well.
Sort of a not too expected performance from Anthony Rossi. I feel like he does have those skills, does have the grappling prowess, but just didn't get anything going tonight. All right, we find the winner in this heavyweight clash. Let's send it inside to Handsome, Michael Hansen.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. The judges scored the fight 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Quincy Tempest Harris.
Quincy Tempest Harris cracking the unbeaten streak of Anthony Rossi in very impressive fashion, negated and nullified the grappling and landed some slick shots on stairs.
Yeah, man.